So next up we have articulation. So there's nothing at the head itself. There's no like head swivel. It's all locked in. No neck swivel. But there is a hinge at the jaw. Kind of. Spring loaded. I think you obviously know why. But for those who don't, let's keep it a surprise. Here we have some articulated shoulders, so you can kind of rotate pretty much comfortably all the way around. I mean, there's real no hindrance. This one, I don't know if it goes all the way around. I think it does, but I'm not going to push it because these figures are cheap. We can go forward about that far at the hip, back about that far. This hip, we can go forwards about, well, not much forward than that. But we can go back about that far. And we can go swivel to the side like that. And we can swivel and ball jointed movement at the tail. So really, there's not much posability. It's basic for what you get, especially for the Battle Roar series. So that's that. Next up, let's go over the GXK Heat Ray Godzilla. We have a hinge at the jaw, rather tight, more tighter than the one before, and it is not spring-loaded. No articulation at the head, which I don't understand why they wouldn't do that. Swivels at the shoulders, which both of them can move a full 360 degrees, which is nice to see. For the hips, we can move forward some, back some. For this one, we can go backwards about that far. Forwards about that far. Eee, I did not like the sound of that. It's always so clicky, clacky, even though it's not ratchet. And we can also move at the feet, which is something the original one didn't. And we can move about, well, pretty much all the way around with the tail, which, just to bring it in, because I don't think I showed off the range of the Battle Roar. We can move this far left, this far right, move this far up, and that far down. So it's primarily just a rotation with a bit of flexibility to it. This one has a bit more range, so you can kind of go this far to the left, that far to the right, go this far up, that far down. So again, lots of nice movement there. So pretty much speaking, both of them have their articulation, and it's pretty much the same exact thing per both figure. Sure, the range on the tail might be a bit more special on this one than is that one, and this one might have the articulated jaw that's spring-loaded, while this one doesn't. But again, as far as like the countability of these ones, they're pretty much the same, which perfectly segues into the next one, size. If you're wondering how, it's just the sheer numbers. They're pretty much the same. As I've said before, this one just looks up. So it's like a bit more the 7 to 8 inch range, which is weird because the Kong proportionally is taller, but he's like the same height because this Godzilla's looking up. So really, I feel like scale-wise, they fit in just pretty much the same. Although proportionally, this one's like a lot off compared to this one. Also, I do apologize if I have glue on my hands because I was working on another project that I hope to showcase in the little bit of videos. Anyway, that pretty much covers size. Well, length-wise, I should probably start covering them. The Battle Roar is slightly shorter, or sorry, is about a little, yeah, it's a little shorter as far as like tail length goes, but proportionally speaking, they're about the same size. Now let's go over accessories. The Battle Roar has obviously the battle feature, which we have a button right here, and that's why it's spring-loaded. So it has two roars. This one. Now that I'm hearing it, it sounds a bit higher pitched. I think it might be running out of battery. I guess it would be lower pitched then. And we have this one, which has a bit more of a, was like a one-time use in GVK. Yeah, that is definitely higher pitched than the last time I had it. But yeah, no other accessories, no beam effect, no nothing. Versus this guy, where he actually has a piece of battle damage. I've already showcased it enough in my review. But yeah, it's a little scab you can kind of like tear off. And it kind of goes in like that. Although funny enough to mention, this is the only GXK figure Playmates has made that has the battle damage. Pretty weird, right? And this one has a new beam effect as opposed to the original. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, is it compatible with the Battle Roar? No, it is not. There's no peg hole to support it. And even then, you can't really, like, try and trap it shut. It's like the beam is too heavy for the spring load to carry it like this way, and that's just it. You can't really do it. So you put it in by pretty much jamming that sucker into his mouth, and I think we're just gonna keep that in there for the rest of the video because I'm not interested in taking that out. Anywho, that also segues into price. How much are these guys? This guy is about $10. This guy is about 15. As far as like sheer numbers are. Although it is worth noting that this guy has a bit of a superior version, I'd say, out for GXK right now, so there's that. And it's about the same price. Now let's talk about availability. This is pretty much new. It's hot. It's literally less than a year old. It's right on the market right now. Get it. Target, Walmart, Toys R Us, if your country still has it. Any sort of comic book retailer, collectible, hobby store, whatever. They're bound to have this. Like, come on. I've seen so many listings for this one figure. It's just like, guys, it's a Godzilla. Calm down. Versus, oh, hit my lamp. This, which has seen its mass production. But relatively now, it's not too common to find this thing. Maybe at like secondhand retailers, but that's literally about it because this thing is kind of outdated. Sorry, but your movie came out, unless they reissue it for their new MonsterVerse branded line, which maybe they've been doing for some of their other figures, so maybe they'll do that. But as for this one, who knows? But that's pretty much also going to wrap up availability. Next up, we're going to go over packaging, which is the last category. And basically speaking, they're the same type of formatted box with the open type of box. And they have the little hook things differently placed. This one looks like the Sesame Street logo, while this one's just the basic hook you find. And they're pretty similar, except they have different style guides. One's for GVK, one's for GXK. That's a whole different can of beans you can find on my box showcase series. Go watch it. But yeah, it's literally just the same thing, except one's bigger. So when you really boil it down, how do I rate these figures? Well, let's start with the Heat Ray Godzilla. It's great. I think that even though it's literally just a copy of the original, mixed in with another few parts, especially if you already own it, you don't need this, as I've said in my ranking video. But it's a good figure. I feel like it's probably the most perfected Playmates Godzilla for the budget. It just needs the dry brushing. The Battle Roar, on the other hand, is honestly just take it or leave it. It's kind of a disappointing figure, to say the least. It has some fine articulation, and the gimmicks are nice, but the sculpt and pose and the quality of the paint is just abysmal across the board, in my opinion. Especially with how dull the fins are, how lazy the dry brushing is. The eye application is more of a gamble than this thing ever was. And honestly, the proportions just look so odd. Like, he has such a thick and massive tail. You could pop that off and sell it as a pipe as an accessory. Like, it's that bad. And to those saying, it's just a kid's toy, explain to me why I've been praising this but not this. Yeah, I stand by that. So, overall, I recommend this one. Only recommend it in case you like the Battle Roar set. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys liked it, definitely subscribe to the channel. Believe in Jesus, accept Him as Lord and Savior today, spread the gospel. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, everyone. God bless.